Welcome back to the CardinalSports.com recruiting chat. I'm your recruiting host, Dave Lackford. After a hiatus and some delays, good to be back talking to you guys and see my ugly face. I planned on doing this last week, but I got swamped with work, and then I got sick over the weekend. I'm just laying on my couch drinking fluids. It wasn't coronavirus, thankfully. I don't know what it was, but I'm back, better than ever, and ready to go with you guys. So let me mess around, share my screen here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, what is this nonsense right here? Oh, somebody asked me about a Monty Watkins, a 4-star running back out of Texas who was a blast from the past. I've said this multiple times. They're done with the 21 class unless somebody decommits, right? They're very happy with Travion Cooley. So I don't think that they're looking at a Monty Watkins from down in Texas, all right? So let me share my screen real quick with y'all. All right. So first question comes from Sabres3, or Sabres with a 3 in it. Outside of the 22 guys we've been on for a while, who should we keep eyes on? Well, one guy that I think Louisville actually has a chance with, who's highly regarded in the 22 class, is inside linebacker Stone Blanton. He's either from Alabama or Mississippi. Let me check on that real quick here so I can figure it out. But he's a kid, a big kid. He's like 6'2", 220 going into his, he got measured going into his junior year. So he's a big kid who can run. I really like him a lot. This is Stone's profile right here. Stone told me that he's got his best friend's parents live in Louisville. So it's like his second mom or something, he said like that. And he stays in touch with the staff. He was telling me that he's from Mississippi. So if you know anything about inside linebackers coach Derek Nicholson, he used to coach down there, I think, at Southern Mississippi. So he's familiar with this area. He speaks to Stone Blanton a lot. Right here, you see the future caster for Ole Miss and Mississippi State, which could happen. But, whenever you see a mix on there, you're kind of thinking to yourself, what's going on? Only person to put in a future cast was my guy, Russell Johnson, down there in Georgia. He put that in August. Pretty sure he was just guessing there, trying to be the first one on board. So watch out for Stone. I like him a lot, and I think that he could be the type of kid that really could come here, because they just got to blow him out of the water when he comes here on a visit. He's got family in the area. He said he likes the staff. He talks to Nick all the time. He talks to Cord Dennison as well, he told me. So, that's the guy you want to look out for in the 22 class. Now, will he be the first one to commit? I don't know. I think he's the type of dude that could really blow up. And then, he might be out of the race if, Alabama comes knocking and needs to take, right? But sometimes kids will shy away from Alabama. They'll be like, it's going to be hard to start there, et cetera, et cetera. And, I might as well just go ahead and go somewhere where, I'm going to be the big fish in a small pond rather than the other way around. So keep an eye out for Stone Blanton for sure. Other players to keep your eyes on. I like running back. I'm drawing a blank on him right now. What is his name? Damari Alston from Georgia. He speaks highly of Louisville all the time. He really does. He says he thinks they're a really explosive offense and he can see himself thriving in it. And he's a big, he's 5'10", 206. That's a big back for a high school kid. He's fast, he's strong. That's the kid I would really watch. Another kid that has caught my attention is Dylan Sampson. He's from Louisiana. He's a kid that you want to keep an eye out on as far as running back goes. At quarterback, the staff, back in, from what I've heard from the staff, people close to the staff, they feel like they got a shot at A.J. Duffy. All right. I don't know about all that, but they're saying they like him and they think they got a shot. Chase Harrison is a guy that they're not recruiting. So don't believe the hype when it comes to this dude. He's a 4-star. I think that rating is spurious at best. You see the offer list right here, like what's going on. How are you from Ohio and you ain't got Cincinnati and you're a 4-star? You know, my man Gino's a good evaluator of quarterback talent. He's got Desmond Ridder from St. X out there, and he's doing a thing. So Chase Harrison, excuse me, still getting over my plague or whatever I had. So bear with me on that. But you know, I think that the 22 kids you need, and the question was outside of the 22 guys we've been on for a while, right? So you know the ones we've been on for a while. If you don't, you know, it's Gavin Wimsatt, it's Keontae Goodwin, it's Saleh Brown, it's Dane Key, all the in-state kids, it's Travion Longmire. You know, those are the kids that Louisville's been on trying to get. But other than that, you know, you see all these offers, right? Because at first they didn't do their normal thing where they just offer a bunch of kids. And it's just still kind of like a low number for them, even though there's so many of them that you can see here. That's still kind of like a low number for them. And most of the early guys they offer end up going to places like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, Clemson, Ohio State, you know. Ohio State, you see, like they offer the big dogs. Georgia. This kid, Groves Killebrew, is actually from Louisville. He's a corner, but he moved down to Georgia, and he's going to the Dogs, Auburn, so Georgia. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard with Louisville and these early offers, you know, because it's not really Louisville style. The big dogs come in and pluck these 2021 kids up early. You know, that's just the way it works. That's the natural course of things. You know, it is what it is. I mean, if you want to look at the ratings, right? Okay, that was cool. If you want to look at the 2021 ratings, why don't they have the damn team ratings, man? 2020. Maybe they don't have the 21, 22s ranked yet. Let's see who's leading the 22 team ratings. Yeah, so like I said, the big dogs. Ohio State got 7. Defending national champ LSU, 7. Penn State's falling off. That number, I expect that number to dwindle. Oklahoma, Georgia, Michigan, Boston College. Athlete out there recruiting. Watch out for Boston College. A 6. You know, and then you go. You know, so it's still early, and Louisville doesn't really grab a bunch of kids from the signing period of a signing period after the one they're in right now. So once everything wraps up in December, we're close, man. We're almost done with the 21 class. So that's where we're at with it, man. As far as the 22 kids that we need to be looking out for. Cardinal Cash asked, what do you think about Banks as an O-line versus a D-line? With our roster, I think we need him more as a D-line. Well, you know what? That is an astute observation, Mr. Cash, because that's where they said they're going to put him. That's where he said he's going to play. They're going to look at him at nose, which is curious to me because it goes against everything they said they wanted before, which was an explosive, disruptive guy who can kind of sneak under the pad level with leverage, you know, the smaller dudes like the Henry Bryant's or whatever, you know. Maybe the narrative changes pursuant to the kid they get. I don't know. But I can't see this kid staying inside. But then again, who knows what they got planned. To me, he seems like a guy who's going to set the edge as a run stuffer or could play offensive tackle. You know, I thought he was going to replace the Zen kid who went to Ohio State. So, you know, this is a kid who's a jumbo athlete, in my opinion. So whatever's said now, take with a grain of salt. Who do I think the first 2022 guy to commit? Cash also asked 2 questions in one, sneaky. I don't know, man. I was hoping it would be Saleh Brown, but after talking to him, I get the impression that, you know, there's some other schools out there that are really pressing for him. And Louisville is going to have to make up some work. Who did I say? I forgot who I said was leading for him, or not leading, but who he said. So let's go look that old article back up real quick. Somebody's probably watching this like, you said it was this dude. Start wasting my time looking up your old articles. But here it is. Let's see what I said on there. Stanford contacts me a lot. All right. Coach Shaw, Missouri. I think Missouri is the team to watch here. Missouri's been on him. When I saw him over the summer in Ohio at Obitz in one of those camps, weird off-brand camps, he was mentioning that Missouri and Louisville were the only real schools hitting him up like that. And Missouri had just offered him around that time. So what happens is a lot of schools will offer a kid and see how ecstatic they are with the offer, see how much they hit the coaching staff back, and then the coaching staff will get a gauge on like what kind of shot they got with the kid. And I think the communication stayed like that with Missouri, and apparently it's going like that with Stanford. Stanford's across the country, so I like Missouri. My thing is, I think that, Saleh's not the biggest dude, right? But neither was Jacob Lacey, and he's doing fine at Notre Dame. So it all depends on what scheme you get in. If it's, is he an SEC defensive tackle? I mean, he's pretty disruptive. He's just not big like you see in the SEC, but, it's a sliding scale of life. If you're not big, you got to be quick and fast. And he's quick and fast. He gets off the ball. He's got a good get off, and, so who knows? But I think right now it's Louisville, Missouri, and Stanford for Saleh. You didn't ask me all that. I don't know who is going to be the first 2022 to commit, to be perfectly frank, because like I said, they're not the ones that are jumping, through the time loop, grabbing kids from the next class. They're usually wait until this class wraps up before they get there. They tend to get their first kid around March, February sometimes. I think the last kid that they got the year before was the big lineman kid who in like 2019 who ended up trying to go to Florida, committing to Florida, but not signing. I forget his name. I think he was Doomer, not a Doomerville. Whatever. Anyway, he's not playing football right now. Did you forward your article about J Good 32 asked, did you forward your article about the staff not doing enough with the local guys to the staff? Well, I didn't write an article saying that. I wrote an article saying Saleh told me that he wished the staff would communicate more. So let's get that out of the way. Let's get that corrected. Is that how your brain took that article? Like when you read what I wrote, in your head, you thought, oh, Dave's saying the coaching staff isn't doing enough with the local kids. Because that's not my take. That's coming from a recruit who told me that. Okay, so I report what the kids tell me. All right, this isn't me making up some narrative. Since then, and no, I did not. I will not send. I don't send anything to the coaching staff. I don't want the coaching staff reading my stuff. I don't want some phone call from some coach, asking me about what I write. No, I did not send them that. I hope they never see anything I write up. Since then, any word on increased contact? I talked to Saleh. He did say that, they've been talking and communication's been good. So I guess that would be a yes. Are we feeling any better about any of the top local kids? That's 3 questions, man. We are feeling good about I still feel good about Saleh. I think Saleh wants to stay here. I think the staff just got to pick up the pace, and I think they can get Saleh. I don't feel too good about Keontae Goodwin right now. I think it's Clemson, Ohio State, Kentucky, Louisville, and he keeps saying Tennessee. But I just can't see Tennessee. If Clemson offers, I watch out for them. That's a big one right there. But Keontae wants Louisville. He wants to be recruited by Louisville, though. He really likes Louisville, and I could definitely see him staying here. But, again, the staff has to pick up on him. And it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to leave and go somewhere else because he got these big offers. There's a very good chance that he could stay in state. Now, other people are going to be like, oh, the staff shouldn't even bother wasting any time on him because they can't get him. That's not the case. I talk to this kid all the time, all right? It's not the case, okay? If they really push for him, they could be in the shot. They could get a shot for him, you understand? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Maybe they do feel like, yeah, it's not worth it at the end of the day. We need to put our resources elsewhere. Maybe they're focused on the season. You know, maybe they got too much stuff going on right now. I don't know. But I know that he talks to Ryan Day a lot. And I know that he talks to the Tennessee staff a lot too, Pruitt and them. He talks to Stud Wara, who's the O-line coach at Ohio State, and he's been talking to Clemson often. He just hasn't gotten the official offer right there. I don't know what the holdup is on that. You know, Clemson's picky with what they do. So keep an eye on for that, but we would like to see more increased communication for Keontae Goodwin, who's now in Southern Indiana, right across the bridge. I think Travion Longmire is doable. I think that Louisville can get him. There's a need for him. They're recruiting him as an athlete. I would like to see him in the defensive secondary. I think he's a long, dynamic athlete who could do a lot of damage from the safety position, and he'd be a big, rangy safety too. So, and I think he'd have a chance to come in and play early. So I think that they're really going to be trying to they're going to focus on him. He said communication is frequent with them, so that's good. Dane Key, I don't know. I mean, everybody picks him to go to Kentucky because he goes to Douglas. This is a source calling me right now, but I'm on a time crunch right now, so I can't take that. Anyway, let's go to the next question. You mentioned Goodwin likes Louisville, and even said that he could be in the top schools. What does he like that has him interested? Because it's close to home. It's close to his mentor, Chris, who's actually his guardian now. Chris is the trainer Chris Vaughn, he helped him lose all that weight. Chris wants to keep him around too, so he can touch him. You know, because Chris is on him hard. He's got a strict regimen, you know, of what he does every day, and I think that's why Louisville has a chance. Plus, he said he likes Ledford, he likes the staff, he likes Coach Satterfield, and he doesn't have any problem. You know, he wouldn't mind staying home here in Louisville. He's real close with his mom, and you know, so there's a lot of personal reasons, family reasons, you know, that he would want to stay home. And he likes the staff, and he thinks he can come in and play right away and make an impact and, you know, be the hometown guy. You know, if you're from Louisville, then you go to Louisville, and then, you know, you go about your career or whatever, you can always come home to Louisville, and you're going to be the man. You know, you're going to get, at worst, you know, you're going to get a FM radio gig. You know, you're going to get deals to promote, you know, certain jewelry stores or car lots. You know, you can make money off your face here in Louisville if you're a local Louisville hero. And I mean, decent money too. I ain't talking, you know, freaking 5 figures a year. I'm talking real money, right? So I think that's a reason why. Have you heard anything about the QB prospect? Card Fan 59 asked me the question about Keontae Goodwin. H. Collett asked, have you heard anything about the QB prospects we're looking at in the 2022 class? What about the Wimsatt kid? I went over that. I think A.J. Duffy is the guy that they really want. Him and Wimsatt, you know, that would be equal. Wimsatt kind of has been quiet recently when I reached out to him. I have to reach out again, find out what's up with him. But that's about it. It's Wimsatt, Duffy, or go for broke right now. And then the other kids they've offered are Sam Horn from Georgia. I don't think that's Sam Horn, the wide receiver's son. Nico Marchio from Chandler, Arizona. They're always recruiting some kids from Arizona as well. Chase Harrison, I told you that was out. Jaden Mayava from Honolulu. That's a new offer, by the way. So he was just recently offered. So that's one of those kids you want to kind of, you know, follow him around, see if he's posting edits, stuff like that. I mean, kids will post any edit you send them, though. But I need to get up with that kid right there. Let's find out what his Twitter is so you guys can follow him on Twitter. There it is. There's his Twitter right there. Let's go to Twitter. Good, no messages. I love when that happens. All right, and this is the kid right here. You know, let's see. Whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and watch that whole thing. Y'all go to his Twitter. Check out his highlight here. There you see they got the Louisville thing, the Muhammad Ali joint. So that's what that is. Let's keep it moving here. Colin also asked, it may be too early since this class isn't really over yet, but do you have any idea of the specific position groups the staff wants to target next class, like number of O-line, DN, etc.? I think that, they've been recruiting very balanced. They're trying to get 5 offensive linemen every year, 1 back, 2 backs, 1 quarterback, 3, 4 receivers. They've pretty much done a good job of evening the numbers out. If anything, I'd say they probably go linebacker next year in 22. DN maybe, but they're just gonna recruit the best athletes they can find, man, and just put them where they're gonna put them on defense. You might look at a kid and think, oh, that's a linebacker, they're moving to safety, or safety, they'll move them up to linebacker. I think they go corner heavy and linebacker heavy next year for sure. On offense, I think they're gonna do the same thing they always do. I think they're gonna get 3 or 4 receivers, 5 O-line, 1 or 2 running backs, 1 quarterback. That's the way they go with it. Is Jay Hectus 18, is the staff still recruiting any 21 targets that have committed elsewhere? Prince Coley, Jansen Dunn, etc. No, not from what I've heard. I've heard they're done. Prince Coley is good at Notre Dame, pursuant to my Mike Singer, the old me here. Mike used to be the recruiting analyst for us. He's moved on to Notre Dame, doing that full time. Props to him. Jansen Dunn, I talk to Mitchell, Jansen's dad, quite often. He's a cool dude. And, we busted up, but he's straight with Ohio State. He ain't going nowhere. So, but it's crazy things happen at the end of the cycle. So don't take this as like, yeah, there's no way it's going to happen, but I haven't heard anything about it happening right now. All right, what Ohio, since your Northern Kentucky kids are interested, what impact D-line players might we land soon to help with the pass rush? Well, Saleh Brown would be an impact D lineman in the interior of the field. I like him. I think, like I said, he's disruptive. So that's the guy you want to land. That's the guy you want to get. Ohio or Cincinnati area kids that are interested. It's hard to pull them kids, man. It's hard to pull Kentucky. Here's what it is. You got all the good kids are looking at Kentucky because Kentucky dominates Ohio, right? Because Stoops and Vince Morrow are both from Youngstown, I think. So they go out there and they get guys. Plus, Coach Clinkscale, Stephen Clinkscale, he coached high school ball out of Cincinnati. So he got connections all out there, right? But, Chase Harrison, not a guy, right? Jabrian Payne is a guy you might want to watch as a running back, but I think he's got his eyes set on Ohio State, Michigan. He's got more of a Big Ten vibe to his recruitment. Jabrian Payne, he's a running back out of Cincinnati. Caden Saunders, he's already committed to Penn State. I've been watching that kid since our freshman. He's fast. He's going to be a nice little slot receiver. He kind of reminds me of Tutu, bigger version of Tutu. Man, I really would be lying to you, man, if I said I knew anybody in Ohio that really is leaning towards Louisville at this point in time. But right now it's local. The focus is local. So I haven't heard of any Ohio kids. If I do, I'll let you know for sure. But they haven't offered a whole bunch of them either. Like if you're looking at this list right here, I'm not seeing Ohio pop up very often, if at all. Like Derek Shepard is a big time recruit. He's probably going to one of the bigger schools. So I don't think that's a guy for y'all, for Louisville. All right, moving on. What's next for 21? Local Lawrence kid get an offer? No, Lawrence is not getting an offer, unfortunately for him. I think he's going to end up in the G5. Talk about Malachi Lawrence out of DuPont Manual. Gun to your head, have to make a decision. Does Louisville land Wimsatt, Goodwin, Saleh? Well, there's no or and in there, so I would say no, they're not landing on 3. I think they got the best chance at landing Saleh. Gun to my head, I'll say, yeah, they'll get Saleh, not those other 2 with a gun in my head. Any idea how many guys will be early enrollees? Hoping a couple of these guys will have a chance to play early next summer. next year. UL Cards 15. I don't at the time, but I will look that up for you and get back with you guys on that. Is water wet? Yes. Like if a fish is in the water, is he wet? Yes, he's wet because we're dry. But to the fish, maybe, who knows? It's all perspective. Or is he not wet until he's been taken out of the water? I would say he's submerged totally in water. So if you reach down there and touch him, it would be wet. Anything that's under the water is wet. That's my take. I don't know. I'm not putting a lot of thought in that. Shonda 97 wanted to know that. Ty Cards Niner. Which guys currently committed do you think could realistically compete to start from day one next season? Ben Perry, for sure. Jair Williams is a guy that could compete from day one. But it's hard, man. You guys always want these freshmen to come in and start early. Look, if you got a bunch of freshmen starting early, dude, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. But, excuse me. I don't know, man. I think Ben Perry, Jaire jump out to me. Okay, let's just spin around forever. Those are the guys I like a lot at this point in time. Why, God? I can't really think of anybody else, though, to be honest. I mean, who do you guys think? Put it in a thread. Who do you guys think of these commitments is going to come in and start early? You know, I could see. Let's see. I can see TJ Lewis finding the gimmick role at quarterback, like a wildcat kind of deal, something like that, because he's bigger. He's bigger than Malik. I can see Christian Peterson, actually. I can see these tight ends coming in, especially Christian Peterson. I think they think he's more physically developed than Vic right now, because Vic's like real long and lean. Peterson's like kind of built, like he's kind of like done, like he's kind of like what he is. There's a chance Vic Mullen grows into an offensive tackle. So keep an eye out for him. But no, those are about the Vic Brown could start. Vic Brown's big and disruptive. He's been having a decent year too. He's just super raw. But I think those are your guys. I think your best bet is that one of these safeties starts early. And I think Byron Oliver could be a guy. Braylon Oliver, he could be a guy. But I think he's about a year or two away. Travion Cooley could get some runs. If Jay Hawk goes, Cooley's playing, so he could make an impact. TJ Quinn could also make an impact at safety. I really like TJ Quinn. They have a need for safeties, so watch out for TJ Quinn. Watch out for Ben Perry. Amari Huggins-Bruce could be a guy that you see playing a lot. You know, Jordan Watkins is playing, so why couldn't Amari Huggins-Bruce? And then there'll probably be some kid I acted like wasn't all that. Like the Jalen Alderman kid will probably come in and be the I downplayed getting him, and he'll probably end up having a Hall of Fame career, being the next Derrick Brooks. Out of the 2022 running backs we offered, who do you like the most and who do you have the best shot of landing? We've been shooting for the stars at this position. It seems late. Damari Alston from Georgia. I already talked about him earlier. Cardinal Cash, I think I like him the best out of everybody, and I think he's the one that they got the best shot at right now. So, yeah, that's my guy. Cardinal Cash says, I guess if no one else wants to get us to 20, I will try myself. Carl, we've been to 20. There's been multiple questions in each one of these. Do I see Ben Perry as a free safety, strong safety, or linebacker? I think I see him as a card. I see TJ Quinn as a strong safety. I see Jaire Williams as either a card or a linebacker. But all those guys can move around, so it's too early to tell. If Banks plays O-line, Cardinal Catch also said if Banks plays O-line, what do we turn to at D-tackle? He's playing D-tackle, so don't sweat it for now. With Goldwire leaving and Tell being the only other guys that's getting serious reps, we need some reliable backups. I think you got a lot of reliable backups. You just got to wait for them to develop. This is COVID year. This year's trash. What are your thoughts on our 2021 walk-on and Cooley? I like Azariah a lot. Azariah Israel, he's good. He's a kid who can play in the slot. He's just, the problem with him is he's just a step too slow. He's not too fast. He's not Jayhawk fast. He's built like Jayhawk. He's a stocky kid. He's a little bit smaller, but he's not as wide as Jayhawk. He's just like a scaled down version, a little bit slower version of Jayhawk. But he's good. Like, that was a good pickup. I mean, that kid had legitimate G5 offers. He could have committed to Miami of Ohio. He could have committed to Western Kentucky free free ride. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna come down here and compete for a scholarship. That could work out big. It's boom or bust, but I like the moxie. Of course, my damn computer's about to die. So let me grab my plug real quick. All right, of the local Louisville kids, which have you been impressed with this season? Saleh Brown, because he's like the only one that I really got to see play like that. Yeah, so what else we got here? How would you grade our class for the O-line? I'm not mad at the O-line class. I think you got some good players. I'll give it a B. Talking about like top 10. Talk about ACC. I'll give it a B. I'm not mad at it. D-line. You got R.J. Sorensen. You got Victone Brown. You got Caleb Banks on there. You got who am I forgetting, y'all? Sorensen, Raheem Craig, Ashton, Jaloti. You got some guys. I'll give it a B minus. I think it's straight. I think you got a mix of what you need in there. So I like the D line. Are we done at both after Banks, Cardinal Cash? Yes, we are. Oh, E.K. Chow, Eastern Kentucky Chow asked me of the local Louisville kids, which have I been impressed with this season. And the only real local Louisville kid I've seen due to COVID restrictions is Saleh, and that was against Butler. He just destroyed Butler, in the first like 3 or 4 plays, and they killed Butler. It's like running clock in the second quarter. Card Fan 59 asks, is the 2023 DN from St. X legit? Saw he picked up Purdue and Kentucky recently. You gotta be careful with those 2023 offers. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful with those because sometimes these kids they look like they're on schedule. They look the part, right? And then over the years they just don't grow anymore. They don't get much better. And they they get injured, like a bunch of stuff can happen, and then they're just sitting there with a bunch of uncommittable offers in our offer sheet list. Miles Thomas comes to mind. Lamar Thomas's son, who played football out at Tate's Creek. He was one of those kids that had all these offers, and then nothing. I don't think he is even playing football anywhere. Micah Carter is the kid we're talking about here. Now, I talked to Kevin Wallace, the head coach out of St. X. He loves the kid, says the kid's all that. I highly respect Coach Wallace. I would call him a friend, and I don't think he would sell me. He has never sold me a bill of goods on a kid. Like, he always gives me the legit what he thinks about a kid. He'll never just be like, you need to, this kid's Power 5. I think he's like a Mac kid. Mac kid is what we say for like low G5, So, and he's called me like, hey, can you help me out with this kid get to, an FCS offer, Eastern Kentucky, throw a tape, and then it's like, yeah, well, sure, So Kev doesn't sell me a bill of goods, but he told me, he said, man, of course you came to the game where my best player is not playing due to COVID distance tracing and all kinds of crap. But that kid's legit. Trust me, he's going to blow up. And then, 3 or 4 days later, Purdue, Kentucky, Louisville, all these guys offer him. So I think it seems like he's legit. I just haven't seen him yet. But, all right, I got to get out of here. I got to take my dog to the vet, and I got to go to the doctor myself. So I'm out. Until next time. Sorry I kept y'all waiting on this, man. It's been hectic. All right. But I'll do a quick turnaround on this chat. We'll do another one. I'll post another one on Thursday. Answer the questions. I try to get it done Thursday night, have it posted on Friday. All right, I'll give you back to back since I took so long on this one. Apologize. Forgive me. All right. Peace, everybody.